Hello, and welcome to another session of the Product Management View webinar series. Before our speaker starts today, I've got just a few housekeeping details that I'd like to share with our listeners. All listeners today have a muted line. If you have a question to our speaker about his presentation or any issues with how you're viewing the presentation itself, please go to the question and answer section on the webinar control panel at the right side of your screen. All questions will be held until the end and addressed by the speaker during Q&A. I would now like to welcome you once more to the Product Management View webinar series. I'm Chelsea Woodhead from Lima Technology Solutions, one of the sponsors of this webinar series, and I will be your moderator. It is my pleasure to introduce Dave Ruan, who will be giving the presentation today, 5 Steps from Local to Global. Dave joined Tech in 2007 with over a decade of global experience in the localization industry. Most recently, he was production manager at TSG Translation Services, where he was responsible for project planning and the management of all localization projects run by his team. Prior to TSG, he held management positions at Lionbridge, where he successfully managed the technology used and deployed at the Dublin site. In addition, he was a software development engineer with Microsoft, as well as an independent consultant where he provided engineering and technical consulting to clients in the localization industry. With no further ado, I would like to introduce Dave Ruan, and I'm going to give him presenter status of the webinar, and go ahead and take it away, Dave.
Thank you, Chelsea. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. We did our sound check earlier, and hopefully the gremlins have not entered the system. It's good to be here, and welcome to today's session. Okay, I'm just going to set this up. Chelsea, can you confirm you can see SlideWare?
Yep, it looks good, and you're coming through on sound great too.
Thank you. Okay. There's an expression where I come from, in a horse race, don't bet on the three-legged horse. This makes sense, right? I mean, who would do that? Why would we bet on a horse that has 3 legs? However, when we're blinded and we don't have all of the information, on a day-to-day basis, these bets are being placed on multiple projects, including projects within the localization industry. When the drive to market takes the place of a well-thought-out global strategy, then sometimes we can see many lame things happening. What I'd like to do today is to guide us through some of these steps which will allow us to foresee some of these things and at least have a proactive approach in how we look at going global. A little bit about me. I think Chelsea has covered all of the bases. As you may have guessed already, I'm Irish. I do live in sunny Spain, and I do enjoy going fishing when I can. I've been in the localization industry for over 10 years, coming on 12 years now, and I have a real passion for all sorts of technology, especially technology that makes things more efficient, and technical problems as well. As part of my work record in the localization industry, I've worked in engineering management roles in the 3 main company types in this sector. These are client companies. I worked with Microsoft as an engineer. Multi-language vendors are also known as localization or globalization service providers. Sometimes those 2 terms get interchanged in the industry. And also, the 3rd type is translation house, sometimes referred to as a single language vendor. I worked as production manager for Spanish translation house. Using poker parlance and talking to the graphic I have here, you could say that I have the makings of a full house in the industry, having worked in each of the 3 major company types. I joined Tech last year, as Chelsea has said, leading globalization solutions provider as Director of Worldwide Engineering. This has been a nice opportunity to see a whole lot of what's happening in each area of the business and industry, both on the client and on the MLV side. And it's a role I'd highly recommend if you have an opportunity for a role like this.